All right. Hello, everyone. This is Andrea here. And for those of you who do not know me, I am the broker of Brick House Realty, and we are located in Maple Heights, Ohio, which is just outside of Cleveland. We service the surrounding neighborhoods of Cleveland. So if you are interested in becoming a real estate agent, move into this area, please reach out to us. So today's topic is following up from our tutorial from last week. Last week, we discussed how to run comps for buyers and sellers. It's really the same process for buyers and sellers. Today, we are putting together a seller's estimated net sheet. That net sheet is something that you want to put together to bring out onto your listing appointment. You want to have some material with you in an easy format for the seller to understand. The system that I'm using today is directly out of the MLS system. I use this, have been using it a long time. There's other ways that you can do this, but today we are talking about a free service that you're already paying for in your MLS dues. So I'm going to jump over to the MLS. So I already have an address. I'm kind of picking up from where we were last week. I already have an address in the search box. I already went through and ran my comps. I selected all of the status over here that you see, and I have this address in there, and it's telling me down here in the bottom left, there's 18 matches. So I'll go ahead and hit results for that. And you see it gives me a list detail. So when I'm going out on the appointment, I do select all of these here, everything that's active, contingent, pending, and sold on the MLS. And I would go down here and I would hit print. I print it off in a landscape format, and I bring that along with me to the appointment. There's been several times when you go out to a listing appointment and you're talking to that seller and they're saying, well, the house down the street on, or the house 2 streets over sold for, or something that they drove by and they see and they may have questions about it. This is a way for me to have that information right in front of me. This is going to provide, again, within the last 6 months, all of the details within a quarter of a mile from that subject property. So I do bring this with me. I do use this as a reference point when speaking with the seller, but I expand this out from here and I look at it in this agent summary setting. And from here, I look at the property, the subject property that I'm looking at is 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. This is a quarter mile around from that property. And I know what that subject property looks like. So I do scroll through and I try to find those properties that match the subject property as best as possible. You may not always find something that matches exactly, but I try to look in similar style from the pictures that I have, similar upgrades. So like this Hawk Avenue is one of the properties that I'm going to use for this particular seller today to present as a comp to look at pricing. So $89.9. So I'm going to scroll back to the top here. When I get to the top here, so you can see that we have something as low as $57,000, but this is only a 2-bedroom. I would not use this one. My subject property is a 3-bed, 1 bath. As I scroll, there's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath here. I see that it's sold for $84.9. This one, 3-bed, 1 bath, is sold for $103. This one is a 2-bed. Again, I would not use that. Now, when I had done my original search back on that search page, I could have entered 3 bedrooms and more and 1 bath to give me, it would have eliminated these 2 bedrooms. But personally, I do like to look at everything that's kind of on the market to see what a 2-bedroom may have sold for. You know, in this example, this 2-bedroom, 2-bath sold for $110,000. It may have been because of the updates or something that was going on in there. So this is a contingent property, 45. So what this is telling me here, looking at this pricing, if my client's home is in, you know, good condition, no holes in the wall, it's been painted, it's been well maintained, that we could potentially sell this property for anywhere between 80, I would say more like 85,000, up to potentially $100,000, depending on the number of upgrades that they have in the home. So from there, what I do is I take that information and I'm going to go to finance here, and then seller's estimated net proceeds. And here you type in the seller's name. You put in all of their information. So for right now, I'm just going to use myself as an example. Actually, I'm going to use my husband as an example because I believe his name is already in my database. I'm sorry. Yes, he's already in my database, so I'm going to use him as an example. So you can fill in, if you know their address, you can fill in as much information here. And then what I do is I give them 3 options for selling their home: a low, medium, and high. So in this example here, I'm going to say 85,000 is the low. No, I'll say 80. We'll say 80,000 is the low, 90,000 is mid, 100,000 is max. I usually do the numbers a lot more tighter than this, not so 80, 90, 100. But this is a good range. And at the same time, so if you're newer in the business, this is probably a better way to do it than to be as tight with the numbers, because if you present something that's too low for a seller and you haven't seen the property, you're not familiar with the comps as much, when the seller sees this, they basically will tell you to get out the house if it's just, you know, too low. But you can save yourself time and effort by just putting this at a wider range, going in, taking a look at the property, coming back, giving them an idea of what it would sell for, what they would net at these price points. And then once you see the property, you can always come back. Like you could tell them, hey, okay, now that I've seen your property, let me run the numbers just to double check to where we're at. And then you can always come back after you've seen the property. But if you come in too low and say 80,000, but they're expecting $100,000, then they're never going to call you again or answer your calls. So if you know that there's a mortgage payoff, you can put that mortgage amount in there. In this case, there is no mortgage. You can type in the annual taxes. So we'll just say annual taxes, $4,000. There's no special assessment. You could put your recording fees, you know, building inspection fees, anything. Seller pay closing costs. So say you have an accepted offer and the seller agreed to pay for a buyer's closing costs. We'll just say like that could be $3,000 that they have to cover. If there's a home warranty, we'll say $350. Some of this you may not know. You're going out to a listing appointment. You don't know if they want to offer a home warranty or any of these things. The listing broker's fee, we'll just say 6% in there. So you see it gave it an amount. It also, let's see, what else goes? Sellers, brokers fee, and any other fees that you know of up front. And then here we're going to do view report. And from here, it gives you the breakdown. Proposed price, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. Seller paid closing costs, 350, and then it gives them what they would net. Sorry, I need to close this. There we go. So that gives you what you would net right there. 70, 80, and 90. So then you just print this off. You can take it along, and then you can go over your pricing with the seller and how you came up to it.